Hello, English learners. Welcome to Learn English Through Story. Today, we tell a true story about George Washington. He was America's first president. He was a great leader. This story is for beginners. It uses simple words and easy sentences. You will learn about history. You will practice English. George Washington helped build America. He led soldiers. He led the country. His story is exciting. Listen carefully. Follow the words on the screen. Enjoy the story. Let's begin. Chapter 1. Early life in Virginia. George Washington was born in 1732. He lived in Virginia. Virginia was a beautiful place. It had farms, rivers, and forests. George was a boy. He lived on a farm. His family grew tobacco. Tobacco was a plant. It was important for money. George helped on the farm. He carried water. He fed animals. George loved to explore. He walked in the forests. He swam in the rivers. He was strong. He was tall. He learned to ride horses. Horses were fast. George rode them well. His father taught him. His father was kind. His mother was strict. They wanted George to be good. George went to school. He learned to read. He learned to write. He learned math. Math helped him measure land. This job was called surveying. George became a surveyor. He measured fields. He measured forests. He made maps. Maps showed where land was. People liked his maps. George was careful. He was honest. Honesty means telling the truth. George loved his country. His country was called the colonies. The colonies belonged to Britain. Britain was far away. It was across the ocean. George wanted the colonies to be strong. He wanted to help people. He dreamed of being a leader. When George was young, he joined the army. The army protected the colonies. George was brave. He learned to fight. He learned to lead. People saw his courage. Courage means being brave. George was ready to help his country. His early life made him strong. It made him ready to lead. Chapter 2. The Revolutionary War begins. In the 1760s, the colonies had problems. Britain made rules. The rules were taxes. Taxes were money. The colonies paid taxes to Britain. The people were angry. They wanted freedom. Freedom means making your own rules. In 1775, a war started. It was the Revolutionary War. The colonies fought Britain. They wanted to be free. The colonies needed a leader. They chose George Washington. George was 43 years old. He was tall. He was strong. He knew the army. George became the commander. A commander leads soldiers. The army was small. It had few guns. It had few supplies. Supplies are things like food and clothes. Britain's army was big. It had many ships. It had many soldiers. George was not afraid. He wanted to win. George made plans. He talked to his soldiers. He said, "We fight for freedom." The soldiers listened. They trusted George. Trust means believing in someone. George worked hard. He rode his horse. He visited camps. He checked supplies. He made sure soldiers were ready. The war was hard. The soldiers were cold. They were hungry. George stayed with them. He slept in tents. He ate simple food. He showed them courage. The colonies needed him. George was their leader. Chapter 3. Leading the army. George led the army for 8 years. The war was long. The soldiers fought many battles. A battle is a big fight. One battle was in Trenton. It was in 1776. George had a plan. He wanted to surprise the enemy. The enemy was British soldiers. It was winter. The night was cold. The river was icy. George and his soldiers crossed the river. They used boats. The boats were small. The water was freezing. George stood in a boat. He was brave. The soldiers followed him. They reached Trenton. It was early morning. The enemy was sleeping. George's soldiers attacked. They won the battle. The soldiers cheered. George was proud. This victory gave hope. Hope means believing in success. George led more battles. Some battles were hard. Some battles were lost. George did not give up. He trained his soldiers. Training means practicing. He taught them to march. He taught them to shoot. He made them strong. George wrote letters. He asked for help. He asked for food. He asked for guns. Other countries helped. France sent ships. France sent soldiers. George worked with them. He made new plans. His leadership was smart. The soldiers loved George. They called him General. He was their leader. He stayed with them in hard times. He walked with them. He talked to them. He gave them courage. The war was tough. But George was tougher. Chapter 4. Becoming president. In 1783, the war ended. America was free. The colonies became a country. The country was called the United States. The people needed a leader. They chose George Washington. In 1789, George became president. A president leads the country. George was the first president. He was in New York. New York was the capital. People cheered for him. They trusted him. George worked in an office. He made rules. He chose helpers. His helpers were called advisors. They helped him make decisions. Decisions are choices. George wanted a strong country. He wanted peace. George traveled. He visited states. He talked to people. He listened to them. He wanted all states to work together. The United States was new. It had 13 states. George united them. United means together. George was president for 8 years. He made a government. A government makes laws. Laws are rules for people. George made fair laws. He wanted people to be happy. He worked hard every day. George lived in a big house. It was called the President's house. He met leaders there. He wrote letters. He read reports. He planned for the future. The people loved him. He was their leader. Chapter 5. Washington's values. George had strong values. Values are beliefs. He believed in honesty. He always told the truth. People called him honest. He believed in fairness. Fairness means treating people equally. George loved freedom. He fought for it. He wanted all people to be free. He had slaves. Slaves were people forced to work. Later, George freed his slaves. He wanted them to be free. George believed in hard work. He worked on his farm. He worked in the army. He worked as president. He showed people how to work hard. He showed them courage. George was humble. Humble means not proud. He did not want power. He wanted to serve. Serve means to help others. He served his country. He served the people. George loved his home. His home was Mount Vernon. It was in Virginia. He grew plants there. He had horses. He had a big family. He went home after being president. He was happy there. George's values made him great. People listened to him. They followed him. His values helped America. They made the country strong. They made the country united. Chapter 6. His legacy today. George Washington died in 1799. He was 67 years old. America was sad. People loved him. His work lived on. His leadership made America free. Today, George is on the dollar bill. His face is there. People see it every day. He is on coins. He is on stamps. His picture is everywhere. George is on Mount Rushmore. Mount Rushmore is a big rock. It has faces of presidents. George's face is there. People visit it. They remember him. The Capitol is named after him. It is called Washington, D.C. D.C. means District of Columbia. It is where the government works. George helped build it. People read about George. They read books. They watch movies. They learn about his life. Schools teach his story. Children know his name. He is a hero. A hero is a great person. George's home is a museum. It is Mount Vernon. People visit it. They see his rooms. They see his farm. They learn about his life. George's legacy is strong. Legacy means what you leave behind. Chapter 7. Lessons from Washington. George Washington teaches us lessons. He teaches us about leadership. Leadership means helping others. George helped his soldiers. He helped his country. He teaches us about courage. He was brave in battles. He was brave as president. Courage helps us try new things. Learning English is like that. It is hard. But you can be brave. George teaches us about hard work. He worked on his farm. He worked in the war. He worked for America. You work hard to learn English. You learn one word at a time. George teaches us about honesty. He told the truth. People trusted him. When you learn English, be honest. Practice every day. You will get better. George's story is like your story. You have goals. A goal is something you want. George wanted a free country. You want to speak English. Work hard. Be brave. You will succeed. George made America strong. You can make your English strong. Keep learning. Keep trying. Be like George. Be a leader in your life. Thank you for listening to George Washington's story. You learned about his life. You learned about his leadership. He helped America become free. He was brave. He was honest. Watch this video again. Practice your English. Share this story with friends. Keep learning. Subscribe to Learn English Through Story. We have more stories for you. See you next time.